Here we are, team. I'm back. So if you clicked on this video, you're wondering, can a complete newbie build a drone, fly a drone, learn to fly a drone, all that? So I'm completely new to drones, and I've been watching videos on YouTube, and they're like, so awesome, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what? Let's see if I can order everything on my own, build it, put it all together, follow some guides, and see what happens. So every guide that I found, I feel like they always left out one little component. So here today, we're gonna go over every single thing that I bought, and we're gonna see if it actually turns out that I actually am able to go ahead and fly the drone afterwards. So starting out, we got a bunch of boxes, bunch of packages. I'll go ahead and do a price breakdown on the screen at the end, as well as a link to everything that I ordered. Alrighty, so for this build, I did end up going with a 5-inch drone kit, not a kit, but 5-inch frame to build everything on. The reason why I chose that one is because I have a GoPro, and I wanted to be able to fly that GoPro around, take some cool videos once I'm able to do so, once I'm actually able to fly the thing. Set of 4 props. First thing that we pull out of this box, it looks like this is the actual 5-inch frame. It has all the carbon fiber tidbits that we need. Oh, case. Okay. Alright, it looks like our FPV goggles. We got a TX12 radio here. Open, snip, quads. First thing we got here is our FR Sky XM 2.4 gigahertz micro receiver. Essential, not necessarily noted anywhere. Receipt. We got a transmitter, video transmitter, so the little connector, you know, so we can connect that battery up. We have a 1000, I believe, capacitor here, 1000 UF, whatever those units are. And look at that, there are those other 2 motors we were talking about. Sweet. Tossing our Mamba. So this is the stack. So this is the actual flight controller combined with the speed controller as well. Over here, Speed B. Alright, this one is our, looks like our video, I believe it's our video receiver, something like that. We'll figure it out. And Nano, so this is the actual video, the camera that goes onto the drone. And we have, alright, a battery. This one says from Amazon. You can already see it's for batteries because it has lithium. Open this back. And we got 2 more batteries here. If I'm not mistaken, this is this is that battery charger. I'm actually gonna replace this with a different one because after I ordered this, I did a little bit of research and found out that it's probably not safe to just use these. You need one. They're actually pretty hard to find instructions. But starting out, what I've come to figure out is you start out with this piece, and then you go ahead and grab your arms here, and then with your arms, you're gonna line those bad boys up. Alrighty, once we got all those bad boys on, now it's time for the motors here. The rotor, the actual blades. Hold that bad boy down. In the next step, we're bringing on our flight controller and our ESC. So and then with those stripped, should be able to. So taking this bottom one to the bottom, that's just what I've seen on all of them. What a lot of people do is they have like solder stuff that goes on here first. I'm not gonna do that, but we are gonna prime this. Not my best solder job, I can confirm. Alright, so I'm gonna get the rest of those soldered on. We'll be right back. Alrighty, with those all soldered up, absolute mess. The ESC is just sitting here, the screws are just sitting in holding it, but now we're gonna go ahead and attach our leads. Next we have our capacitor, and we're gonna throw this bad boy on. We got the negative side on this side with that stripe. It's gonna go like that. Alright, so now it's time to put that flight controller back on, or this one, whatever the top one is. And I know we're going to need these longer ones, so we're going to go ahead and pull these ones out, put these other ones back in, and slide it on top. Alrighty. Alright, it took quite a bit of fighting, but we finally got them, all those rubber boys in. We're going to rotate these bad boys in to make sure they're all just about level. Alrighty, so if I'm reading this right, we got S-bus, 5 volt, and ground. On our ESC over here, we got S-bus, a 5 volt, and our ground. PPM in the middle. So I don't really know what that is, but we'll go ahead and wire these bad boys up. So, alrighty, with those soldered on down there, it's coming down here through the bottom. Still got access to that button. We are going to we'll do the camera. This fits inside the 3D printed piece that I made. So I'll hold that because this is like a nano or a super small, and this is like a full-size frame or something along those lines. I'm not 100% certain. Drones are weird. Alrighty, and then with that we're going to connect it on. So basically these two sides squeeze this bad boy in here in the center. We'll go ahead and get those mounted together, and then this will sit in here. Alright, now that we got the camera mounted, we just put some screws in. I'm gonna have to order that bracket because the 3D printed one just kind of not really doing its job. But we now have our 3 wires here. These are gonna come into the cam, ground, and 5 volts, which they're all right here, right in a row, which is perfect. I wish there was a little connector here, but there's not. So we're just gonna go ahead and snip these bad boys. We're going to solder them in place here in just a second. Alrighty, with those connected, I guess we can move on to our VTX. From here, so these are those VTX wires. I'm going to replace them with some longer ones. Now we have positive and negative. Then we have our video and our smart audio. And then with that, I believe we're all good to test it. So I went and checked out the remote or controller or transmitter, whatever you want to call it. And I was like, okay, well, I guess it's time to put the batteries in and, check it out. Well, looked up, I gotta look up what kind of batteries it takes because it doesn't take regular AA. It has this little thing, and these aren't AA size, so time to look those up. Alrighty team, so I didn't catch this on camera because I was messing around, but I went to plug in this, and I bet a ton of you already know what happened. This capacitor just blew out all its content onto my hand. I went and washed my hands, but I don't really know what just happened. I'm assuming the capacitor is not the right one. I just do realize that's the one that came with the stack, but I ordered one that was 1,000, and it's a lot bigger, so maybe that was the problem. I'm gonna do a little bit of research and then find out, but I gotta pull this bad boy off. Alright, after doing a little research, I have mine on backwards, which I'm sure people have seen. This is the negative side. This short side is the negative side, the one with the band. So that actually needs to go like this. I had it flipped. Hopefully maybe that's right. Guess it's time to try to bind again. I'm gonna stand off to the side this time, see if this thing freaking blows up like it did just a second ago. Actually, I'm gonna move. Something just beeped. Can't be this, not even connected. All right, here we go. What is going on? Oh, I'm terrified. Oh, It's my freaking controller. Oh, didn't blow up this time. Oh, it was low. Ah! Oh. I don't know what that means. Okay, I'll be right back. More research needs to be done. Alrighty, so after doing exactly what I just did, I actually have to go ahead and change to FR SkyX 2. And then now it's binded, got a green light, so we're good? Question mark? Alrighty, so I did end up using just some electrical tape instead. So I taped them all down, and then on this bottom side, I taped the receivers all the way up to where the antennas are exposed with rubber. And so they're that way. This is sitting out the back as such. I really hope it doesn't get hit by the blades. But I mean, aside from that, I think we're ready to put our sandwich plate back on. So this bad boy is gonna go up here. Alrighty, so from here, we're gonna connect our USB, our actual flight controller, to the computer. Now you're gonna have to download that Beta Flight. Just Google how to install it. It's actually way stupider than it needs to be, and the website is dumb. Lights, good. And then over here on our screen, you can see we now have our setup stuff going. Got a little warning here. Problems with configured accelerometer enabled but is not calibrated. I also have to do that. Yeah, that makes sense. So we did this first time. Cool. Alrighty team, so after doing not a ton, but a little bit of research, I got everything all set up, and then I realized that all the motors are spinning the same direction, which if you know anything about drones, you need these two to be the same and then these two to be the same. Well, there's ways to do it with like this BL heli or something, or you can just go ahead and switch the wires from the motors. So that's one thing that they do not explain in most of the tutorials for beginners, or they just say, all right, install the motors, and then you do it. Like, okay, well actually, so you have 3 wires, you need 2 of them to, so like 1, 2, 3, like for 2 of the motors they go 1, 2, 3. For the other 2 you switch these 2, or it's these 2. I'm gonna have to look to make sure, but you have to switch 2 of them, and that's what will give you 2 of them rotating one way, 2 of them rotating the other. Super good tip, wish I would have knew from the beginning. After hours and hours of troubleshooting, I noticed a bunch of problems. I ended up actually pulling the receiver off, resoldering it to a different ground, because I think that might have been one of the problems, as well as I had to reverse the motors on this one and this one, which means I had to flip these 2 wires. Wasn't sitting in basically any of the churls. Got that figured out. And then finally, after all the testing, I got all my fail-safes and stuff set up. It still is acting weird, but according to this guy on the internet, if it's the flight controller is not getting any telemetry, so it needs to be flying, and this is normal. So we're gonna go ahead and give it its maiden flight as is and see what happens. Hopefully my kill switch works, and we'll see. Alrighty, here we go, maiden test flight. Question on everybody's mind, will it fly? I would back up a lot. Oh, it turns on, that's a good sign. Really sensitive. Well, I don't really know how to like... And it's broken. Alrighty, update here. So, first flight took off. Remember early on when I was like, I wonder which way this goes? I was right, it was upside down. They are ripped out of their holes. So, I'm gonna take this back plate off, flip it, screw it all back together, and try again. That's number 3, but 2 because, alright, arm this bad boy. Okay, I guess not. Arm this bad boy. There we go. Alrighty, seems there you have it. I mean, I a rookie can build a drone and fly it.
Not really.
I mean, it got off the ground and I was moving around a little bit. Just need to adjust the sensitivity. Aside from that, that's proof right there, proof in the pudding. Oh, that's it. A freaking complete beginner, building a complete drone, start to finish. A little bit of hiccups along the way, but it got done. Biggest takeaways I can say when trying to do one of these for yourself. Bigger things to take away, you're going to need both a transmitter for your video and a transmitter for your signal that goes to your remote controller, whatever you want to call it. Remember, as you're doing those, to switch two of the motors, the first two wires, to make sure they're kind of fly counterclockwise as compared to clockwise. Make sure you get a really good soldering iron, or just a decent one with a sharp tip on it. This soldering iron I had since I was in middle school, and its tip is not very sharp. It takes forever to heat up, and I just could not get very specific where I wanted to touch. I actually ended up flinging some solder on the board, which may have messed some things up on the way, but I got that all taken care of. Also get like a soldering iron kit will be your best bet. And that's a wrap. A complete beginner drone start to finish. It is possible. You can do it. It might take a ton of troubleshooting. It probably took me 4 hours of build time, if that, and then another 4 to 10 troubleshooting just because of anger and not being able to figure it out. Aside from that, I'm excited to see if anyone else has the same experience as me. And if you want to see some more, let me know. I'm going to be dropping some cool drone videos once I'm able to actually fly this thing. I live in the beautiful state of Oregon, so we'll have some fun. Alrighty, see you later.